Despite a slowdown in the housing market, a recent survey by Interest.com ranks San Diego as the second least affordable housing market in the U.S., only outpriced by San Francisco. Joining me with an update and what we can expect in the next coming year is my guest, San Diego State real estate instructor, Mark Goldman. And welcome to Evening Edition.
Pleasure to be here.
Now, Mark, home prices in San Diego County aren't going up as fast as they were last year. How come?
Well, we've recovered from the losses in value that we saw earlier in the 2000s. We had a big run up on speculation back in 2004, 5, 6, 7. We had a terrible crash, and now prices have recovered from the crash, and they've come back to what I consider to be a trend line of a more long-term trend line of home price increase.
That makes me wonder, what does it mean to the overall market here? Is it sort of a stabilizing number, do you think?
I believe it is a more stabilizing impact on the market, which is a good thing. These rates of increase are much more sustainable. When home prices are going up rapidly 10, 20, 30% per year, somebody's going to get stuck with a very expensive home that the market can no longer support. This rate of price increase is much easier for to be supported, so people can be more certain that nothing's for sure, but people can be more certain that their home price probably won't go down.
So right now it's about 6%, as you said.
The current
correct.
Rate,
the current
yes.
rate. But before, for a time, housing prices were rising at a 21% annual rate back in the day. What drove those increases?
Stupid money and speculation. We saw mortgages available for people who could not afford them at any price, any loan amount. And if you dump enough money onto a real estate market, it will always do great. And not only was there a lot of money available, but it wasn't very difficult to get it. And as we all know, it didn't work out very well.
Yeah, and mortgage lending rates right now, they remain low. The home prices are, as you said, slowing. But that report from InterestRate.com found that besides San Francisco, we are, San Diego, the least affordable housing market in the country. What does it take to actually buy and own a home here?
Well, it takes a pretty good income. Right now, our median price home in San Diego is a little over $500,000 a year. And it would take a household income of a little over $80,000 a year, plus a 20% down payment to afford that price point. And our median income here in San Diego is actually pretty high. It's $61,000, but that's quite a ways away from the $81,000.
Sure, there's a big
gap. Yeah, and you know, we'll see that in this market, and that'll continue to happen. We have very limited supply of homes. We have very high demand. We have who wouldn't want to live here, you know? So the price will get bid up. It's the sunshine tax.
Now, should home buyers that are trying to buy by the end of the year, is that a good idea in the next 4 weeks? Are you going to get a deal? And what else should they consider?
Well, there's always deals out there. And there may be sellers who are more motivated to close a deal or at least get into escrow by the end of this year. But that in and of itself shouldn't be the primary factor. For people who are looking to purchase a home that they intend to use for their own residence, I would suggest it should be a long-term decision. I would suggest they weigh out how long they would plan to stay in the home, because you can't plan on getting in a home this year and selling it at a profit next year.
Because the market isn't doing that anymore. Now, let's talk about the new year. It's just a month away. What other advice would you have? Do you think the housing prices will continue to remain even, drop, or do you have any other predictions for 2015?
I think that home price increase rate will be more moderate. I think we'll continue to see the rate of increase come down. But I want to make it very clear, home prices are still going up in value. It's just they're not going up in value that quickly. So I think that people considering purchasing a home should make their decision on a much more fundamental basis. For example, how are they going to use it to live in? Because we all have to pay for shelter. So will they get the benefit of you know, using the property for a residence? If they're buying for investment, can they collect a rent suitable and commensurate with that price?
So a lot of other factors aside from this really rapid growth rate is.
Right, but much more basic supply and demand factors, which are much easier to predict. So I believe there's going to be less risk in our market. I think 2015 is going to be a more active market. I think we'll see more transactions here in San Diego. And as I say, I think prices will continue to increase, but moderately.
All right, Mark Goldman, thanks so much for the update.
Pleasure.